En décembre, Hollywood vous proposera une suite,
Mary Poppins,
un spin-off,
Bumblebee,
un film de super-héros
Spider-Man.
et un autre film de super-héros.
that was the worst ever.
Mais vous pouvez aussi donner sa chance à Mortal Engines, film post-apocalyptique généreux à l'univers original, réalisé par Christian Rivers et produit par Peter Jackson.
You know, we are in a cinema-going world where there's a certain amount of franchise fatigue. It's a really schizophrenic thing. So everybody wants original stories and ideas, but when they get them, they're sort of scared.
It always has to be a best-selling book or an IP that's got a pre-existing fan base. And even though this does, it's not big enough. They don't feel it's big enough to warrant it in its own right.
Car Mortal Engines est un scénario adapté de la série de romans de Philip Reeves par Peter Jackson et ses comparses du Seigneur des Anneaux, sa mystérieuse épouse Fran Walsh et Philippa Boyens.
what is that? That is London.
Writing a script, and whether it's adapting a book or even original, it's like it's a series of puzzles. The first puzzle is to sketch out the film. It's just the storyline of the film and the characters, and it's all done on a whiteboard where we just sort of do the beats. I mean, some people use cards, but I've never really been able to do cards that well.
We're not that organised.
Well, I much prefer it to just see it on all of this laid out. While we're working on the script, we have 10 or 20 artists who are conceptual artists read the book and start doing artwork. Anything that comes to mind, and visualize that, and then so as we were writing the script, this artwork would come in, and so it's a to and fro process. It certainly inspires you. Yeah. So there's a lot of prep work that you do before you even begin to actually write what you'd call a script. Yeah.
Mankind mobilized. A new age arose. The age of the great predator cities. Survival of the fastest.
Non content de proposer du neuf, Mortal Engines a aussi le mérite de donner sa chance à Christian Rivers, qui signe ici son premier film.
The first ever fan letter I got after Bad Taste was from a 15-year-old schoolboy called Christian Rivers. He eventually came to work for us. He's always been part of our team, and he wanted to direct. So he directed a lot of second unit stuff on the Hobbit films. He did such a great job that he wanted to direct a feature film, and I thought, well, I don't really want him to go and make one for somebody else, and it just happened. I just thought this is going to suit him. This is going to be just a film for him.
Cette longue collaboration entre Rivers et Jackson a laissé sa trace, puisque la mise en scène de Mortal Engines conserve quelque chose du style expressionniste du cinéaste néo-zélandais.
I mean, when you storyboard with somebody, it's a very intimate process. It's just the two of us together, and he's a bit of a shorthand, and so he almost knows the shots I'm going to ask him to draw before I even say them. So in a way, I guess he has developed a understanding of how we make films, but I didn't want him to make a film pretending to be me. I mean, that was also important.
Ask him why he murdered my mother.
I just wanted to try and shoot the film in the most realistic way as possible. Because it's so fantastical, there's a lot of films now where everything's kind of so precise and so controlled that there's a very artificial feel about it. So I wanted to shoot a bit more handheld, wide lens to get in close and amongst the characters, and just make it all feel like we'd actually gone there and shot it.
On imagine que débuter sa carrière de réalisateur sur un aussi gros film n'est pas chose aisée, ce dont avaient conscience deux des acteurs du film, Hugo Weaving et un Stephen Lang méconnaissable dans le rôle d'un très beau personnage de monstre.
I will kill her.
On the first day I had on set with him, there's a lot of extras, a lot of costumes, extraordinary set, and the coverage took ages. He was remarkably calm, and I'm sure he didn't feel it, but in fact he said he didn't.
He's been working with this team of people forever, but he's been in a piece of a team. Well, now in a way, he's a bigger piece of the team.
It was very much a collaborative enterprise with me, Peter Jackson, Fran Walsh, and Philippa Boyens. There was no way, they were going to give me $100 million and sort of say, "Oh, we'll see you in 2 years. Hope you make a good movie."
La collaboration reste le maître mot des films produits par Peter Jackson et ses comparses, comme en témoignent deux des comédiennes principales, Hera Hilmar et Gia He.
Master, take this.
And stay out of sight until I give you the signal.
What signal?
Trust me, you'll know. I'm not that subtle.
It felt in many ways like we were making an independent movie just with a bit more money. You know what I mean?
A lot more money.
A lot more money.
I think Peter Jackson has final cut on this, so
Absolutely.
So they were yeah, it was very intimate.
I mean, the studio is massive. The amount of people working there is immense, but you don't feel like you're on a big studio film, but it always retains its
Rusticity.
rusticity or familiarity.
And they've created like an environment, I think, where it's very safe. You know, I think that they're in control of keeping that kind of mood going. So I think that helped the creative side a lot.
Fran Walsh believes that nobody cares about the characters other than the actors who play those characters. And so she takes that philosophy to heart. What we ended up doing was literally, like, each of our characters, we collaborated with them and built the intentions, the costumes. I never expected that.
Dans cette grande création commune, le fait que deux des têtes pensantes du film soient des femmes a un impact évident sur le produit fini.
Pete's definitely one of the writing team, but Philippa and Fran are the primary writers. And so they always bring that sensibility to the world, and they brought it to Middle-earth.
It was such a blessing to be an actress in a project of this size and know that you have two women that are in charge, like Fran and Philippa, that are completely on your side and understand how it is being a woman in general and also in this world.
Une qualité dure à communiquer sur un film qui n'est pas encore bien identifié par le grand public.
What I think the hardest thing with this movie to get across to audiences is the fact that it's not just a boys' movie. I mean, women are responding incredibly strongly to it, and they're all saying that they didn't expect to, that they thought they thought it was a boys' film, and they're very surprised.
Espérons donc que toutes ces audaces seront payantes.
We wanted to create a story that was original, rich characters in a new universe, and we'll just have to see what happens.
You look at her, and all you see are the jagged edges. But she is something quite different. She is beautiful and strange and very, very rare.